Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Godmother podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in again. So glad you came. So glad you made it. Thankful and grateful for me making it. If this is your first time, welcome. Thank you so much. Please hit the like, please share, and please subscribe. If you are a returning visitor, thank you so much for your continuous support. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't to this my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I am an up and coming energy that is only aimed to raise the vibration for a positive energy in this society. I don't know everything. I know some things and I've been through some things. So this is my calling and my way to give back. And so anything that nourishes your mind, body, and soul, me, the Godmother, is here to share that with you. These are the nutrients that I share onto you. It's enough negativity, chaos, things that just ain't good for us. I don't care. I'm choosing not to be a part of adding to that. When I could be able to spread love and let people know I care and I give a damn. How do I do? I actually learn from others who have knowledge and wisdom that is imperative to this realm, this society, us as beings that I feel. That I take onto that into my own life. I embrace it. And then I turn around and I share the knowledge and wisdom. And see, it's one thing to have the knowledge, but in order to apply the wisdom, you got to put the work in. So this is my way. And I am inspired by so many ones that are already doing it, which makes me want to do it even more. I have had many social media. Now, right now, the social media that I have is focused more on my creative production. So as you see my poster behind, you can catch me on Instagram through creative production. Right now, I am feeding my YouTube channel, the Godmother Podcast, because that is me. I have a Pinterest account, creative production. You're always able to my access me through those platforms. But I am an artist. I am an author as well. I am an event planner, and I am a motivational speaker. So I take all of this talent and these gifts that I have from my experiences, and this is how I give back to society, give back to the world, give back to this realm, make efforts and initiatives and set intentions to leave it better than I entered it. Took me a while to get to that point, but I'm here and I feel good because I got the opportunity to do it. And so that is what the Godmother podcast is all about for those who don't know. And trust me, it wouldn't be my podcast if I didn't have the tea. So what am I drinking? I'm drinking some of these teas. It's the tea that my girlfriend had gave me, and it is of Japanese descent. Of course, I added my own flavor to it. I have my peppermint in here. Y'all know how I do. I got my Starlight peppermint in here. I got me a small piece of lemon. Of course, I squeeze the juice out, and then I place it in there. And then I put honey, and then I add some orange. So delicious. And with this cold here in the Windy City, it's just what Godmother needs and has been ordered. So cheers. Mm. Mm. It's the peppermint. Mm. suit. And if I'm sick, I'm gonna put a hole or something in it. But I take the peppermint right now because I can taste it in the lemon. But I guess it's an acquired taste, but I enjoy it. And that leads me to this quote. I don't have to be everybody's cup of tea. I just have to love me. And it took me a while to understand that. When we change our perspective on how we look at things, the things we look at change. And when I realize is that I'm making efforts and intention to please without, when I should be pleasing within. It took me a while to understand that, but now I get it. Now I get it. Now I get it. And I do that. I do that now. And I wrote two books. One book is a fiction book, but it depicts events based off of real life stories. And it is called Lady and the Triumph. You can access it through my bio. The link is there available for you to go right and make the purchase off of Amazon. And then the other book that I wrote is called Set Your Ship to Sail. And it is a self help book that has an exercise inside that allows you to follow along and show you how you could be able to set goals for yourself so that you can move forward in your life towards the different levels that you aim to achieve and obtain. And I don't feel that we're taught enough of self care. I think a lot of things in society is always aimed at grasping our attention to be able to get us to do what it is that the top liners have their goals so that they can be met. And that could be in forms of fashion, music, media, um, even just your average job. But it's up to us to determine what is it that we want from the inside. What is it that we need? We don't do that enough. I don't see it enough. And I know that I'm constantly working on it because guess what? I know that that is where the magic is truly at. The blessing. This is where we need to go. So I'm glad that I was able to write those two books that I wrote. And please, you know, check them out. Go on Amazon, go on my bio, click on the link, and just read the synopsis. But the truth of the matter is that I use myself in the self-help book to show you that I have used this exercise on myself. And I have been doing constant work on myself over the last 20 years. And I see the difference. My level of patience and calmness. Mm. Do I get hit with stuff? I'm going to sip on that. Do I get hit with stuff? I do. When you're in life, where can you run and hide? So you got to learn how to be able to be strong enough to deal with it. One thing that I did learn is that our environment plays a big part on the influence and impact that it has toward us and our lives. You become the company that you keep. And we sometimes don't want to admit it, but we must look within our own circle to see, is it really those that's helping us or is it those that's holding us back? But it starts with yourself, because when you know yourself, then you know what you're dealing with. Going back to what I said earlier, we have a tendency that we please and we focus on the out toward the end. We got to start with the end. Because once you start working on that, you'll notice how the outer changes. It's people that you thought that y'all would always be thick as thieves. And then something happens. And you're no longer close like you thought you would always be. So I have many daily routines and sacred rituals that I do. And one of them I read in a passage. It talks about knowing the difference between a fountain and a drain. And it just stuck with me and it stuck with me and it stuck with me. And I was like, ooh, a fountain versus a drain. Can you all tell yourselves honestly that you can identify the fountain and the drain in your life? So this is what I did. I decided to look up from the Webster's Dictionary the definition of both a fountain and a drain. Okay. So starting with a fountain, it has like several different definitions. So I went with the top two. Fountain is defined as the source from which something proceeds or is supplied. Once again, the source from which something proceeds or is supplied. The second definition is a spring of water issuing from the earth. Let's say that again. A spring of water issuing from the earth. Sounds quite refreshing, doesn't it? So then I looked up drain. And here's the definition according to the Webster's Dictionary as well. To draw off liquid gradually or completely. Say it again. To draw off liquid gradually or completely. The second definition is to cause the gradual disappearance of. Let me just say that again. To cause the gradual disappearance of. And then here was another one I got. So I got three for drain. To exhaust physically or emotionally. Let me say that again. To exhaust physically or emotionally. Well, look at there. That's self explanatory with both definitions. So I'm going to ask you again. Are you able to identify the people who are the fountains in your life and the people in places who are the drains in your life? But when you do that work within there, you understand what it is that you want. And so that is going to create an energy where it's that you're not just going to tolerate pleasing people, you're going to focus on making sure that you're together. So when I was growing up, I remember when we would be out in the park on them hot days and we'd be playing, we couldn't wait to get find a fountain in one of them parks that we could drink from. It was like, huh. And we get there, we drink, it was just fresh spring water, good, and we taste and we enjoying it. And it was like we got our boost of energy. And we went back to playing again. And then we would frequent that fountain several more times before we would leave the park. But that was the liquid that was hydrating our stuff. Then you have the drain. We all know who wash dishes, take baths, clean whatever. It's the disillusion of waste. It's eliminating the liquid, as they say. It's exhaust physically or emotionally, to decrease, to take away. So I ask you again, are you able to identify the fountain and the drain in your life? Many of us are not able to, and that is why we are so overwhelmed. I see many people daily. To me, to drain yourself, to exhaust yourself for money is, to me, it's not the ticket. For a purpose is, because you're aiming for it. Money is a tool, not a destination. But you got to know how to use it, because just because you have money don't mean you're going to be able to get those things solved or problems we can solve. No, you got to be smart enough to know how to use it. Fountains can come in different levels, just like drains. So let's talk about it. Fountains. These are the places, people, or things that actually feed you, nourish you, fulfill your thirst when you need to be hydrated, that actually pour into you for the better. Those can come in forms of people that you're around all the time, that you confide in, that you work for. It depends. But are they bringing out the best in you based on what it is that they either talk about, indulge in, interact with you on? Well, you got to ask yourself that. Is it always negative? Is it positive? Because the fountain feeds, doesn't take away. Remember, it always comes out. It's never taking nothing back out. What places are those? Maybe you could be in a local church that you're a member. That could be a fountain for you. Your job could even be a fountain for you, depending on what it is that you're doing where you work and how it makes you feel. But only you can identify those fountains. Let me tell you about my fountains. My fountains, they start with my self care, number one. It is the time that I have discipline and I take out to make sure that I do my daily grace and rituals that actually feed my soul. Another one is my family, of course. My children, my grandchildren, my mother, and my spouse. Those are my sacred spaces. Those are my fountains. And because they know who I am, yes, they feed me in that nature. Now I have a small friend circle, and I mean small. And a lot of people have told me that's because of what I do is so big that it makes it difficult for many people to do what I do to others. But I promise you, when you're that person in your world, in your life, in your group, you do be like, man, it get heavy. I need someone. But we all have them, but we also have to let them enter. And I'm thankful because I do have some. And these are my fountains too. I call them my goat and my bestie. And these are the circle of the individuals to where it's that man, They can tell me what I need to hear, even when I don't want to hear it, but they're going to always congratulate me and clap for me and cheer for me, always on supportive mode. And I'm so thankful. Those are my fountains. Another one of my fountains is I love museums. I go to museums and I get all of this interesting information. I take what I want to keep and I let stay what needs to stay. But it's a fountain that feeds me. The beach and the water, those are serene parks, are serene places for me. Those are fountains. Meditation music, those are fountains for me. It soothes me. I'm able to meditate and get in that state. Yes. You have to know what is around you that is actually giving you nourishment that helps build you up and bring out your best version of self. Not saying you depend on it, but the thing is this: if you're going to be surrounded with that environment, with those individuals, with those things, man, shouldn't it at least benefit you in some way? Especially emotionally, mentally, or even physically. Then we have the drain. Now, the drain that I say in my life, it's the hard for me. And it is what I see out here in society. I've even pulled back from watching the news as much as I watch, but I see so much of it. With me being such a big empath, I feel deeply. I'm so past worrying about convincing somebody about the gifts that I know I have, that I've tapped into, that I feel so strongly. And trust me, they are constantly evolving and getting stronger and stronger. But nevertheless, it doesn't stop the fact that I feel it. And some things you can just sense. As they say, you can cut the air with a sword. The tension be real. You feel it. I be thinking like, man, people just need to have those conversations and not have them sidebars. You can talk to this person about this person, but you can't talk to this person about what it is that this person is doing. That drains me when I'm in the midst, and a lot of times those either be in workplaces or just public places. So because of the work that I have done, I use my emotional and mental tools in order to make sure that I create those boundaries so those drains don't affect me. Another drain, the government. What I don't understand is that why does it always have to be negative? Why do we vote people in office that don't agree? So you know what? I just learned the law, but I let them fight that out. I have no control over it. So for me to just stay in tune with everything they, and I don't want to say I don't stay in tune, I don't watch everything. I stay in tune, and I stay in tune through the different sources that I have where I obtain the knowledge about what is going on in our country. But to sit and watch, show about them all, I did my share. Another drain is the poverty that you see in this society. It's hard for me to understand why we have homeless or we have hungry people. I don't get it. I guess I'm so missing. And when you go outside, when you have to go to your either work or you have to go to any type of appointment that you set, even when you're going to visit and family and have activities, enjoying yourself, you're going to encounter one of those situations where you see someone who is in a real bad situation. And then you don't want to be judgeful. The only thing is that you can you 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 ask, how did we get here? I want to help, but I have to be realistic on what it is that I can do. I can give you a roof over your head, and at the end of the day, in a week, you choose to go back out there on the streets. What am I supposed to do? And then at the same token, I'm not able to bring 100 people in my home to live either. I don't have the space to make sure that everybody is accommodated. Is it something that could possibly be done in the future? Absolutely. I'm talking about realistically now. So I may give them something to eat and feed them, or more some clothes or some articles that I no longer use that I feel like that they can use. Yeah, but it is a drain because you just, as humans, how? Another drain. This exploitation of children. This this is ludicrous to me. Well, not ludicrous, but crazy, insane. This makes no sense. And these are the issues that plague our society, which is one of the reasons it calls that I make content like this. I've contributed to, I've contributed in ways in the society in my past that I'm not proud of, which is one of the reasons why I'm giving back like I do. The knowledge of experience and testimonies that I have, there's no way that I should not be sharing it with you all. So this is why I do it. And when I began to actually even view content, I really didn't even understand what it is that I was either looking at or looking forward to look at. Then, as I gradually began to evolve into my constant work of my best version self, I started paying attention to certain content. And so I realized that I was paying attention to content that was a drain and less content that was a fountain. But now I pay attention to a lot of content that are fountains to me. They play a big, big role and part in my constant evolution. I'm so grateful and thankful for the fact that we have individuals who choose to say, despite the rhetoric, despite the ridicule, despite the negativity, I'm going to share the truth and pass knowledge on to the ones that want to seek it. And I'm one of the ones. My journey started when I actually seen a post on a social media platform that said, check out these topics. And when I say the topics was just mind blowing, to where that if you had a conversation with me, I'm like, get your butt out of here. You're talking crazy. To where that as I'm researching and going through these different resources and sources and finding this information, I'm like, what the? And here I am 20 years later. I'm glad that I'm here because at my age, I mean, man, I've seen them come and go in my time. And I'm like, man, this ain't right. I got to do something. What can I do? And I've always had people say, man, you give us so much hope and inspiration and love. And that's what people need. They don't need drains, taking their liquid life out of them. They need fountains that's going to give back to them. And for the longest, I didn't even know that this was part of my calling and my purpose. But as time went on and I realized and I paid attention to what navigated toward me, people will walk up to me. I've never met them in my life, and I promise you, they're going to tell me their whole life story and give me all of their problems. And all I know how to do is give them a hug and give them that big pep talk, and they feel good after that. They keep on going. And many of them I've never seen anymore in my life. But in that moment, I was called to just give them whatever it was that I needed to give them at that time that they needed to hear. And they got it. So instead of me being a drain, because I'm not going to sit here and say that I have not been at some point in my life. Absolutely. That's what I know what I speak of. I made a choice to do differently. When you know better, you do better. And so with me, I start working inside so that as I build all that up inside, now it comes outside and it shines. It don't shoot, it shines. And then as it touches everything that it touches, it allows it to shine as well. I always know how to do that. And here we are, which is why I am the Godmother. When I read the passage and it talked about the fountain and the drain, I've had to release many people over this past 5, 6 years. Or I've put my boundaries where it's that there is boundaries between us, not only people, but environment. The places and people and things I prayed to be released from, I'm not going to allow triggers to take me back to that. That's what I mean about my emotional and my mental toolkit. And trust me, I observe, notice, and take note of the many triggers that I get encountered with. Oh, don't get me wrong, many times I've had to, got to. Because other than that, they're going to drain and suck the life out of me. No, 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 no. I taught how to make sure this don't happen. It got to start with you being able to identify what are the fountains and what are the drains in your life. Take a hard evaluation. Look thoroughly. Think thoroughly. Are you giving more? Are you receiving more? What is it? And that hit me because I get it. It's not for anybody to understand. It's for me to know. And I know that's why I had to make the decisions I made in my life. Fill myself up with more fountains, not drain. And people don't get it. It's your intention. You know how you get up and you make sure you wash yourself, you cleanse yourself every day, you brush your teeth? It's an intention because you want to be clean, because you want your teeth to be good, you want your breath to smell good. Do you apply that type of intention and discipline to everything in your life? Feed yourself and make sure that things, people, and places feed you as well and not drain you. And when you understand that this particular energy is a drain, then act accordingly and move accordingly. I removed myself from places where I felt like they were drains. And when I encounter energy that I know is a drain, first of all, I feel good when I don't have to stay in that energy. I have a choice. And I feel good to know that I can remove myself from that. But I understand this is this person. This is how they do it. Oh, this is how this is in this environment. Oh, this is what this thing entails. So I'm not going to give it my energy. I was sitting up there thinking, I said, you know what? I have a lot of media and different platforms where is it that I follow individuals and I gain the knowledge from this content. So these are part of my fountains. These are what I would say that I definitely get nourished by. And so I had created a list because, and the thing is, this is that I was just running off the names, and these are the major ones. I'm just going to be honest with you, especially when it comes to just that knowledgeable and wisdom content. These are the individuals that I follow that feed me. These are the ones that, man, I be having my cup and my picture and my bucket. I'm finna get all this, and then I'm gonna be able to take my increments where I, take it all. I love it, and I'm thankful for it. And so, not in no particular order, but after I made my list, I realized they total 9. I did not do that. I just, as I was thinking of them, I was like, Spirit, what's my peace? I call them my peace. What's my peace? What's my peace? These are, trust me, when you look at the algorithm within my social contacts, these are the ones that you see me follow. So I have 19 keys. 19 keys didn't even, I was not aware that 19 has such a relevance and importance and a sacredness to it. But once again, these things are not really taught in the basic curriculum. And until you actually get out and do your own research and do your own work, it's a lot of stuff you're not going to know. But man, if you're not familiar with him, follow him and look him up. 19 keys. He has his own platform. He's actually touring. I'm definitely going to get to your tour eventually, brother. But I love the content that he shares. He shares more of us getting our mental and emotional mental state so that our emotional state be state so that we can get to a physical state so we can get to a more financial stability. And I love that. So we have to have these conversations. It's like we got to talk about this fence. We know this fence is here, but at the end of the day, yeah, you don't like that this fence is here, but you disregard it. No, we got to talk about it. So I received the brother, and I appreciate it. It's like we know what's out here, we know what we're dealing with, but man, but also we gotta tend to the ones that want it. I'm not gonna force my way on anybody. And so, man, if you're not familiar with that brother, check him out. And then I have Dr. Boyce Watkins. He's an older brother, but at the same time, he's all about financial literacy. And when you have those individuals that's teaching you information that they charging you thousands of dollars to take online or go to school for, it's like these people have the content. And I went to college too, which is why I'm speaking like I'm speaking. I don't need to get the counselor or the psychiatrist degree in order to tell you things that I know that is going to nourish your soul, your mind, body, and soul. So Dr. Boyce Watkins, if you're not familiar with him, look him up. He has actually, you know what I'm saying, financial literacy classes in schools. Look him up. He has a lot of knowledge that he shares. And then his wife is also, I believe, some type of doctor. I want to say psychiatrist, but don't quote me. She could be a psychologist. I'm not sure. But nevertheless, check him out. Then you have Michi X. She gives you that thorough, that 100 straight, man, I'm finna give it to you how it was presented to me, what's going on in society. And those are them hard conversations that many people try to avoid. But I appreciate the fact that she brings them to the front line so that we can have a discussion about it. Because there's a lot of things that's still going on that is connected to racism, discrimination, you know what I'm saying? Civil rights being totally disregarded. The list goes on and on. So the sister has a lot of content that she shares as far as to allow us to become aware, share knowledge that she has, but also give out the wisdom that she knows that sits up in her. So I appreciate that. Thank you. You don't know about this sister? Check her out, Michi X. She goes all around the country. She speaks to different people. She's connected in different ways. She might be stationed one place, but she's been on different areas within our country. So it's like, man, check her out. Then you got Queen of Four. Oh my man, great man. I recently found out about this Empress, and I get emotional because the depth of her book about the womb, that's what they should have been teaching us, and they did because there's many of my sisters, and I ain't talking about just skin tone, just sisters, but many of us too have been plagued by the torture of our womb. Man, I love the wisdom and knowledge that she gives to us as a high queen, just to say, man, this is what I'm contributing to my people, and trust me, oh, that's definitely on the list to go toward. And right up under her is Iyanla Van Zandt. Them two, them my god, okay? Them my auntie. And so my aim is to get to a place where I'm definitely interacting with them more. But trust me, if you don't know about them, go look them up. You hear me? That's some fountain for you, baby. Okay? Then forbidden knowledge. This brother is deep. He takes us into the unknown, the paranormal, what we don't want to talk about because either you're too scared or you just don't believe. But the brother got a lot of knowledge. And there's a lot of information that is connected to our scientists as well as high government officials. My thing is this is that it's certain things that just because we don't believe is possible don't mean it ain't. And even with him making us feel that there's a possible doubt in that they're doing, he also come with, as he call it, receipts to be able to say, okay, you do your own little paper trail, your own little research. But the information is astonishing, and I appreciate you, Billy Carson, for what you do. Earn your leisure. That's next on my list. It's three brothers. Oh my goodness. I I don't remember all the names. I remember two, but I'm not going to say their names right now. But I stress earn your leisure because these brothers are showing you and giving you the blueprint to the financial literacy class for you to be financially free. And it's my brothers that's doing it. Earn your leisure. Man, so they have this Invest Fest coming up. So actually, it's almost that's really one of my birthday wishes is just to get tickets to be able to get into a hotel room down there. I mean, I'm sorry, to get tickets to get into the Invest Fest and get my hotel room down there because yes, they've been doing it for a couple of years. It could be longer, but oh my goodness, look them up. Whenever you got individuals that's sharing information with you in order for you to be able to be financially literate and financially free, that speaks volumes. And I commend them because they do that. And I'm thankful that I am able to constantly get them as a fountain too. And I'm taking baby steps. It's like, how you read them first two chapters of that study book that you got. It's like, that's where I'm at. But I'm telling you, I'm getting to that point where I'm going to start taking them dang on quizzes and passing and going to that next level. But thank you, brother. 363 Empire. Oh my goodness. You look him up. Black Magic. He used to go by Black Magic, and now he goes by 363 Empire. It could be Black Magic Rob, I'm not sure, but I know it's 363 Empire. And this brother, Radio Rich, I think it is, he loved bringing the conscious community on his page, sharing knowledge on many different topics that I promise you are so engaging and intriguing and worth the dang on hour that I definitely could give him 3, 4 hours watching him. And I've watched him now for the last 3 years, and I enjoy all his content. I've learned about a lot of people just by watching his content. And he recently had an activity where they walked up the Stone Mountain, and there's some attributes of that mountain with some energies that lie within it. But nevertheless, I thought that was, man, very, very beautiful to even come up, you know, with an idea to say, let's do something like that. So if you don't know who he is, go follow him. Trust me, he has some amazing content. Amazing content. And then last but not least, Mama T. Mama T. I first came across her on TikTok. And she was just so intriguing. But this sister is definitely knowledgeable. And once again, sharing the knowledge that she has been has obtained, and being able to share with us to even break it down on other levels to tell you what deeper meaning that it has. Man, whew, Ashe, sister, Ashe. And she also got some herbal blends of tea that she created. So you talk about fountains? Those are some of my fountains. You got to be able to identify what it is. And I want y'all to think about this. Take some time. You look at this video, whenever you look at this video, whenever, because it's going to be timeless. Ask yourself, what are the fountains and the drains in your life? And I don't think I have to tell you which ones you need to eliminate and remove, and ones that you need to make sure that you enjoy fully. The message was sent to me, and the calling led on me and stayed on me, and I was like, man, this has to be my content. Because I felt that, because many of us know what I speak of. And you're gonna come to after you watch this video and be like, dang, she's right. And this is where you got to do that self-work, that self-love, that self-care, because then that's when you start creating those boundaries. You ain't got to get revengeful. You can just get respectful, but adamant that this is what we're not going to do. Gracious. You know what? It's I am so glad that I'm at this mindset where I am right now, and I wouldn't take it for anything in the world. At the same time, I'm just anticipating every day as I constantly evolve and level up. So it don't stop. Identify those fountains and those drains, and then do what needs to be done, and then move accordingly. I promise you're gonna feel better. Now, my babies, I always talk about how we got to talk about the T. Remember the T? Thankful, experience, and accomplish. Well, the thing is this, like I said, I'm thankful for the fountains that I have in my life. I am. I really am. And from the content to the environment to the people, I'm thankful. And I give gratitude and I show praise to that regularly because it truly is a blessing to have that type of energy in your life. Now, when it comes to experience, the thing is this is that I see, and I told you earlier, I see a lot of poverty. And when I see a lot of poverty, I see a lot of strain and stress. It takes me back to where I know I used to be. You know what I mean? And I get it. But I also understand is that it's not always just about money neither. So my experience was one that everybody has their own way. When I realized and I learned for the first time that you have people that is actually homeless that have checked out because that's what they chose to, they don't want to pay rent, light, and gas. They said that's not what we're supposed to do, so I'm gonna live outside. I'm like, oh, so they got a whole like wallet or something. It could be, but they checked out. So I'm like, wow. So my experience is that I wanted to be able to be comfortable and not have to worry about being outside in the street. But my experience is this: just because those individuals is outside in the street does not mean that that is a bad thing, because that is what they choose. And I learned once again is how we look at things. Their peace was number one, and they got peace in nature. My experience taught me that just what I see does not mean that that's how it is for the next person to see. And it also helps me with not being so judgmental. If I can help, help. But I don't have to sit here and carry that away that I'm. And I receive. My accomplishment, I made it through another week. It's so much can transpire in 24 hours. Just imagine within 7 days. And not to mention this weather is so confusing. It does a mind of its own. Now we're going to get this burst of warmth, and then we're going to go back to the cold. But nevertheless, I'm still here. That's the I accomplished another week of being disciplined, of being focused, being committed, and being able to say, guess what? Whatever life throws at me, I'm going to deal with it face on and keep moving forward. If I got to take a break so that I can breathe or catch my breath and give me some rest, then I'm going to get myself back up and get back on. And I advise you to do the same moving forward. I'm going to get ready to end this content here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're able to take something from it. I hope you took something from it. And please pass it on to someone else. From me to you, please like, please share, and please subscribe. It has been another amazing time with you all. Until we meet again, have a great